He runs an organization that does a lot of mentoring to young men. He also has dealt with prostate cancer himself, so he knows firsthand what it looks like and what a lot of times people consider a death sentence. When you hear that word cancer, people automatically think, am I gonna die? That's usually the first question. So he'll share his story and his purpose and some of what he does. And they also get to walk through, there's a few of them back there, but you've probably seen them on social media if you're on social media. And you've seen them walk through these clubs and events. And they actually have quite a huge following of mostly women that like the salt and pepper look. So yes, I am talking about none other than the founder of the Salt and Pepper Gang, Rico Davis.
Thank you. That was actually her first time ever introducing me. You did a good job. My name is Rico Davis, founder of an organization of brotherhood. The reason I started this organization is because what we are doing in the community is what I've been doing for over 30 years. Anyone that knows me can tell you that I've been always known to help others, give back to the community, helped a lot of single moms, help a lot of the young men that just needed a second chance in life. And that's what I was doing. I wanted to help those who did not have the voice. For instance, like the Salt and Pepper Gang does so many things in the community. We literally just rushed from another event to this event. And the event that we had, which is our annual Boys to Men event, where we actually giving young men belts and giving them ties and teaching them how to tie a tie and teaching them how to pull up your pants and teaching you how to look at a man in the face and shake his hand when you do business, or respecting women, say yes ma'am and no sir, all because the generation that we have now, they are so far behind, and if they are our future, we in trouble. So we are trying to make a difference, and there's only 18 of us. We have billions of young men. We can't do it all, but we're gonna do our part. And I always say, if we change one man's life, we did our job. But Salt and Pepper Gang, because there's so many of us, we get to reach more young men. And again, for those who know who we are, you know we go to senior citizen homes. We give every woman roses, flowers, balloons. We want them to feel special because these ladies tell us when their family members put them in that home, they don't visit them. So to have, 15, 16, good-looking men in suits, smelling good, fedora hats, walking up to them and putting roses in their hand, we make those ladies feel special. But it also makes us feel special because I don't have a grandmother. So I sit there and I talk to them and we have a good conversation with these ladies. One thing I can say, older ladies, y'all say whatever's on your mind, no filter. But at the end of the day, we enjoy ourselves just like they enjoyed us. But like I said, we go to high schools, we go to colleges, we speak to young individuals. Every year, we always buying young men suits who cannot afford to go to prom. This year, we claimed it. We were able to take care of 5 young men. But we didn't take care of any 5 young men. They had to make good grades. They had to write us an essay on why is it so important to give back to the community. They were making good grades, but they couldn't afford it. So as a group, we stepped in and purchased everything that they needed for prom. And also recently started a limousine service business together. We were actually able to escort them to prom. But, okay, enough of the Salt and Pepper Gang. I want to thank my brothers for coming out and supporting. But the reason I'm up here, and I understand that, it is the Houston World Sickle Cell Day, Juneteenth Jubilee. But as a man, it's also my obligation to let you guys know what I dealt with which is prostate cancer. Because we all have a father, uncle, dad, nephew that's either dealing with it, about to deal with it, or going to be dealing with it if they don't get checked. And I'm not gonna lie, when I was like around 25 years old, I remember a guy was telling me, I think he was like about 40, and he was just like, yeah, man, yeah, I just went and did some kind of pre-screening thing. You know, when you're young and you wanna know something, we didn't have Google back then. So you had to ask questions. And he was telling me things like, oh, I did a pre-screening for prostate cancer. And I was like, oh, that's for old people. That's what I was saying. But when you keep living, one day you're gonna be old. And it just seems like now with time, as an older person, it seems like time go by so fast. I was like, ooh, man, it's Monday. And I looked up, wow, it's Saturday. Monday is coming around again. Time is not waiting for no one. So if there's anything, especially the young ones that are in here, if there's anything that you want to do in life, you might want to start now. Because as soon as you wake up, you're like, where did 10 years go? Keep living, you're going to be our age. But I remember, I went to the doctor and they told me, and I mean, I'm not going to lie, sometimes I do think I'm Superman. So when he came in and he told me, he said, well, yeah, how I figured out that I had it, I kept going to the restroom in the middle of the night. So if you are a man and you keep going to the restroom 3 and 4 times in the middle of the night, I'm thinking, maybe I'm getting old, I'm glad I'm weak, I ain't worrying about it. Just being in denial. As a man, we all know we don't like to go to the doctor. I always say a guy can get shot in his leg, he'll be like, I just put a little Band-Aid over there. We don't like to go to the doctor. So I said, you know what, let me go. And I went and he came in there and he said, yeah, Mr. Davis, you got prostate cancer. I said, who, me? I thought it was somebody else. Because I was like, nah, you might want to do that again. Not me. And he's like, no, it's you. So for like 5 minutes, I had 3 things that went through my mind. The first thing was, are you serious? Me? He's like, yeah, you. I'm talking to you. Because I kept saying, you show me. And then I said, well, just like she said, how long I'm going to live? Because that was my question. Because when I hear the word cancer, I think about death. And I think about all the people who I know that died of it. And I just kept saying, man, how long? He said, well, the good thing is you caught it early. So I think I was like at a stage 2. He said, there's certain things that you have options of doing. You have the choice to do radiation or surgery. So I started thinking. And then I said, you know what? All the things that I've been through in my life, this ain't gonna stop me. I started telling myself, all right, doctor, tell me what I gotta do, because I'm about to beat this. I know me, I'm a fighter, I'm a warrior, I'm a soldier. I'm not gonna worry about that. What do we need to do? So he said, you just tell me what you want. So I did reach around and started asking other men. And I did talk to a guy that did surgery, and I talked to a man that did radiation. For me, after doing my research, I felt radiation was gonna be best for me. Why? Because when the guy told me he did surgery, and for those who don't know how surgery works, you might get results faster, but when he told me that I have to wear a diaper for 2 weeks, that was enough for me to say, I'll do radiation. And for those who don't know how it works, I did radiation for 3 months, 5 days a week, 7 o'clock in the morning, I was on that table. And for that little 15 minutes that you lay on that table, and the machine looked like a transformer. I would lay down on that machine, and for 15 minutes, he's like, you want some music? I said, no. I never wanted music because I always wanted to just sit back and reflect about my life and the things that I need to do and my mission that God still got me on this reason for. And that was for me to spread the word, to try to help save other men. And my mission now to this day is for me to be able to save 1 million man lives, one man at a time. And I think I have been doing a good job. because I am using my social media platform. For those who know me, I'm a content creator. I have a lot of followers. And I am using my platform to get the word out. And since I've been talking about it and collaborating with other nonprofit organizations, they have been bringing me out, and I've been spreading the word. And I've had guys that I haven't talked to in 30 years reached out to me and said, man, Rico, thank you. Because if I never seen your video, I would have never went and got checked. Some men said, yes, I found out I did have cancer. But I wouldn't have found out early if I never heard you speak about it. Other men went, they didn't have it. And some of the men that I talked to said, man, I would have never told nobody they had cancer. Why? Man, that made you feel weak. No, actually, I got stronger. Because I feel like I was doing something that God wanted me to do. Spread the word, help others. So what I've been doing is what I've been doing for years. I'm always helping people. You know, I always ask God to use me as an outlet while I share my testimony and uplift others. I always ask God to tell me what it is that you need me to do for other people. And then when God gave me cancer, I said, God, I didn't ask for cancer. So sometimes you got to be careful what you ask for, okay? But God blessed me because I went through my radiation. And I remember every Friday, the doctor always asked me, how do you feel? I said, feel good. After 2 months, I said, why are you always asking me how I'm feeling? He said, because most people that go through radiation, chemo, they feel fatigued, they feel beat, they feel exhausted. He said, you come in here, you always either cracking jokes, you speaking to the staff, you just look happy because after I leave my radiation, I either went play basketball, lift weights, I went to speak to kids, I went and visit different places. I was so motivated, I was encouraged. I did not look like what I was going through. That's why nobody could believe me when I said, oh, I'm dealing with cancer. And I'm on the basketball court, still grinding up some of the young guys, even though they got the gray hair. But I'm still on the basketball court doing all the things that I've been doing when I was in my 20s. Now, of course, I'm icing my knees later on, but they don't see that part. But the thing about it is I'm still doing everything that I wanted to do. Why? Because I tell people all the time, when you take care of your body when you're younger, your body going to take care of you when you're older. And that's my motto, and that's how I've been living. And I remember after my 3rd month, for those who dealt with cancer, you get it's like a privilege. You get to ring a bell. You know, I understand what it means. I'm like, they just ringing a bell. But it's a monumental moment to be able to ring that bell. So I remember, because I had my 2 sons down here, and I said, when I ring this bell, I want y'all to put your hand on my shoulder. So my middle son had his hand on my shoulder, and my youngest son had his hand on his shoulder. And I remember I rang the bell, and I said, the first ring was for me, my sacrifice, getting up every day, coming here for 3 months, and I never complained. I just did what I had to do. My second ring, it was for all of my family and my friends that prayed for me so I can get through this moment. And my third ring, it was for all of the men who never got a chance to ring the bell. So like I said, I'm here because God wants me to be here. And my mission, my purpose in life, I don't think I'm on this earth for no other reason. I'm on this earth to be able to help others. That's it. I want to thank you guys for your time. It's an honor. Myself, Salt and Pepper Gang, we're always doing amazing work in the community. And one of the things that, as a group, what we have coming up, which is July the 19th, you guys can get with me after, we finish. But this is for every man. Doesn't matter what nationality you are. We have a video shoot. If any of you guys follow us, you know all of our videos always goes viral. But this is a video called Unity Fest Video Shoot. We have, so far, my goal is to have 100 men. If we get more than 100, that's great. But we're going to start off from a baby. If that little boy is 6 months old and he can't even walk, that's fine. If he's in the little carry-in, we just need him to have on a suit. Because the camera is going to go from that baby to the tallest person. Right now in our group, the tallest guy that we have in our group is 6'10". So if we find somebody 6'11" and 7 feet, they are more than welcome to stand in that line. So just remember, you're going to be expecting about 100 men of every different nationality, and it's going to start off from that little baby, and it's just going to go from one side to the next. And you have the Houston skyline in the background because it's downtown. I've seen the video, 3 videos. There was one in Dallas, one in Memphis, Tennessee, and the other one was like the Louis Farrakhan brothers. But I have never seen any with every different nationality. So that day, I just want everybody to see that as a man, we can all come together for one purpose, and that's called unity. Thank you, guys.
One second, DJ. Thank y'all so much. I really appreciate it. Rico is one of my friends. You know I love the Salt and Pepper Gang. And we did do for prostate cancer. Just want to, I see, come on, Stacy. Come on up here, Stacy. Yeah, come on up here, Stacy. You guys probably have seen Stacy around, of course, because she is the sister of the Darling twins, Stacy Darling. Thank you guys so much. You're so amazing to see the As One Foundation and